Hello everyone, I'm Ron and welcome to the L2LT Gaming channel. In this video, I would like to share with you my 2023 PC building experience as an amateur. I've only built 2 PC in my life, and what you are looking at right now is the PC I've built back in 2019. As you can see, this PC is long overdue for an upgrade, especially the GPU. So with the upgrade, I'm going to find out how hard, or actually how easy it was for an amateur like myself to upgrade a PC in 2023. And instead of just upgrading a few parts, I've decided to do a whole new build. So let us go through the parts I've chosen for my new build. First of all is the CPU. I've got the i9 12th generation K version of it, so I can overclock it a bit. As for RAM, I've got DDR5 RAM at 32GB from Corsair, which speed is at 5600 MHz. For the motherboard, I got the MSI MPG Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi, which supports DDR5 RAM and Wi-Fi 6E, and it looks great in my opinion. As for the primary drive, I'm using 990 Pro SSD from Samsung with 1TB of storage. And this is the Noctua NHD15 CPU cooler. I think I could have gone for liquid cooling, but I really want something more reliable, so I've chosen the air cooling solution. A 1000 watt power supply to power all my parts. And for the centerpiece, the GPU, I've chosen the RTX 4090. This is one of the most exciting part I got from my build. Look at how beefy it is. This is the Inno3D X3 OC version of it. I would have gone for other brand, but this was the only one in stock and reasonably priced. And the next part of the video is going to be a time lapse of me building the PC. Hope you enjoy. And it is done. To be honest, it's not really that hard to build a PC. It took me around 2 days to assemble the build. That's mainly because I have a newborn child, so I have to build it on and off from time to time. And it was quite a fun experience. I really enjoyed the whole process of building it, and for the next part, as you can see on screen right now, was powering on Lucky for me, everything was spinning right and powering on, the lights is on and everything. But I did have an issue booting into the BIOS, which is because the monitor I have is a HDMI 2.1 and for some reason some BIOS don't really get that signal really well. So it took me quite some time to figure it out, and once I'm in the BIOS I was tuning the XMP profile to match my RAM speed and boost up my CPU clock. And for some weird reason, the motherboard was spinning the fans at full speed, so I have to go inside and turn on smart fan mode, and later on tune it in my PC when I do stress tests. Not everything went well in my build. As you can see on screen right now, the CPU cooler just fell off. This happened when I was reinstalling the CPU cooler mount, which at the first place I used the wrong one, and when I reinstalled it I forgot 2 screws and it just fell right off. Was a completely noob mistake, and luckily nothing really bad happened. And one of the hardest things I found building the PC is also CPU cooling related, is applying the thermal paste. I've always struggled on how much thermal paste I should be applying to the CPU, especially with this new generation of CPU. The shape is a bit different. I had to reapply the thermal paste a few times, and at the end I just upgraded my thermal paste to a better one and apply an even layer on it. One of the post-build upgrade I've done is to change the CPU bracket. That is mainly the stock bracket is causing CPU bending, causing some thermal cooling issues with the CPU due to less contact point with the CPU cooler and the CPU itself. As you can see now, the CPU bracket is applying more even pressure on the CPU itself. Additionally, it makes reapplying the thermal paste much easier. Another great little thing that I added to my build is a external display which display the CPU, GPU information, the temperature usage of it, and is quite handy when you want to tune different fan settings and check if your system is running right. So after everything was completed, the first thing I've done is to do a stress test for the CPU. The software I used for the stress test is Cinebench R23. I found out my CPU was actually overheating since it was a common issue for the i9 12th generation. At the end I have to undervolt my CPU but overclock it a little bit so I can gain some performance and keep it from thermal throttling. And after that I actually tried my luck with the GPU overclocking. The first score I got is actually a starting point to find out where I'm going from. Next, I slowly increase my core clock and memory clock rate until it reaches a point where the score actually goes back down. And when I found the optimum clock rates, I actually undervolt my GPU a bit to keep the thermals and power consumption down. After that, I've launched another benchmark with 3D Mark times Spy and test gaming performance on it. I've got a pretty decent result, which is a little bit above average, and I was quite happy with it. And I start using my PC normally and playing different kind of games. Most game I played either in 4K or DLSS enabled quality mode, and everything was running fine and fluid. Pretty much every game I throw at it I can max out the settings and have a decent time, except from a few games that have some issues with their own optimization, but it did not affect me too much. Take Jedi Survivor is running at native 4K. It's most of the time is smooth, but it does drop down below 60 FPS and stutter from time to time, but still overall very fluid. And until recently, when I'm finishing this video, I start using some built-in benchmark 2 from some games that I like most. What you're looking at screen right now is the Mirror of Maddness from Total War Warhammer 3. This is definitely not the most graphically intense game in the market right now, but look at the unit size and the amount of model on screen with the spell effects going on and simulation going on. It's just absolutely brutal to the CPU and the GPU. And the benchmark result was average of 70 FPS. It's pretty good in my opinion since most battle in the game won't be at this size. And what benchmark would it be without trying the Cyberpunk 2077 with path tracing turned on? everything is maxed out, and DLSS to quality mode, I start the benchmark and it run really smooth at about 60 FPS and didn't drop. As you can see, CD Projekt Red and Nvidia did a really good job implementing path tracing into the game, and everything looks super realistic, and I really do like the look of these trees at the very end of the benchmark. And the benchmark results is average around 70 FPS, everything maxed out, and I turned off vertical sync since I have G-Sync on. So that's my gaming PC for 2023. This is going to last me for a few years, and hopefully for at least 2 or maybe 3 more GPU generations before I have to upgrade. I have to say I really enjoyed the whole process of building PC, and was it hard? Not really. I mean, most of the part I've got here, they are all just plug and play, and what you really need to do is to follow the instruction from the menu, as well as there's a lot of tutorial videos online right now, so building a PC is just very easy these days. So that's the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have been following our channel before, we have been just doing podcasts with my good friend Jax, but this is more of a passion project for myself, so I'm doing it solo. I'm sure me and Jax will discuss about this in future podcast episode, especially with Jax having his new Steam Deck now and really enjoying Diablo 4 on it. So again, thank you for watching, and drop a like if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or if you spot any errors I've made during the build. Bye bye and have a great one.